Good day and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be the video of the buildup of the Academy F4 in 1/48 scale. Normally I break up my videos in like 10-minute chunks and do like bits and pieces of how I'm putting things together. This one, the way I caught the video and things like that, I wanted to try something a little bit different. So instead of going into like super detail on all little bits and pieces, I sort of go through the things that were getches, and do the whole, just kind of did the whole thing. So essentially, this is the whole build of the F4, and including starting with the cockpit like you always do, and then moving on. So yeah, I can talk about it and ramble on for forever and just eat up more time, or we can just go ahead and cut to it. All right, so getting started, we're doing the cockpit as always, and like I said, I'm using the Quinta Studio set. It's actually a really nice add-on, gives you a lot of fine detail, and all you got to do is clean off the original parts. Then put the things that are added on. The kit parts are actually kind of nice. So the chairs, they actually go together pretty well, and the chairs have got a good look. The Quinta Studio set gives you your seat cover and your seat belts, which do add, and they end up giving it a pretty good look. Once you get those done, you can see the difference here between with and without, and I found it beneficial. I like the way it looked. Then you just go ahead and get the cockpit. You put the parts in with the cockpit, and I give it a little bit of a quick wash to bring it out, and then you're done. I mean, the cockpit's there. Next step is doing the wings, which you can see took a bunch of clams, but hey, that's all part of building aircraft. All right, I've gotten to the point where it's time to put the fuselage on, and I'm choosing to do a couple things different. So we go through these steps 2, 3, 4. They're pretty straightforward. One thing I did do is I made a mark on these to mark which one was D&E. You can see that on there so that I could do the painting. I also did go ahead and when I put them together, I had to fill the seams in there, and I think I got it. It's all right. It's not as good as I would like it to be, but it'll do. Where the seams are located is actually pretty nice. It's along the edge, so it's kind of well hidden. So then I got that put on, did the engine pieces, right? Got them done, and I even started doing a little bit of shading on them for a reason. But then I got to these steps. They don't really tell you the order. I mean, it's like these are the assemblies, but they don't necessarily tell you the right order, or if there's a specific order to do these in. I will say this: this piece is a pain. I have to go back and hit that with a thing because of a bit of a glue leak. But this piece right here just butts up. It doesn't slot in. It doesn't have any positive connectors. It just butts up, and then it can slide up, down, sideways, however. What I did do here is once I got it in, I did put a little UV resin here, here, and here just to hold it in place. Actually, here we go. Here, up here, and over here to hold that and lock it in place, because it kept it where it needed to be. So my cleanup here can just be really quick. I can just dust off where a little bit of that glue leaked out. So that got done. Then I went in, put these in. I was going to put those in first, and then I found that I couldn't maneuver this without knocking things around. So it worked out better to put these in second. I also went ahead and put this piece in, which is this. And I'm holding off putting in the engines, and here's why. So when we go to do this next step, which is put this on here, This is compressed in a little bit. And so what I'm running into as an issue is this. So if I get that put correctly on that side, and then I come down and I get this put in correctly, let me get this over here, and I gotta fiddle with the cockpit. Cockpit is actually a little snug there, so let me get that guy in first. So it's better to get him down. All right, so, and I did discover this before, it's easier to get the cockpit aligned first and then do that. So let me do that, get the cockpit aligned there. All right, so I get the cockpit aligned, right? And then I get that aligned, and then this, that seam, you can kind of see that it's in. I need to be able to stick my finger up in there to push that out, because then it's even more blatant over on this side. Even if I get that one put in, I need to be able to get this piece here up onto the tab that it's supposed to go to. And I'm finding that I need to be able to reach in my finger in through here to be able to do that. So I'm putting these in after that so that I can get up in there. Right, so I can get up into there to get that in. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cracked in, and I'll be back. So getting here to step 12 on the F4, and we're now at, I think, stop time. All these, so some of these detail pieces, like these here, got put on. But when it comes to going ahead and putting in the landing gear underneath the bottom of this, I'm concerned about the whole painting steps, right? And this is something that I always struggle with. So again, I'm going to do it my way, which is I'm going to stop. I'm going to not put on the landing gear any more than I already have. And I'm going to go ahead and put on the canopy cover here, right? And then do the painting. Or at least get the base paint down before I put on the landing gear. Now, but before I do that, right, I got to the point where I needed to put on the canopy. And I find this nice seam. So it's, you can feel it. Now what I could do is I could choose to ignore it, or I could choose to go ahead and do the thing, because both this and the other one, where is it? I have them here. Yeah, here it is. This one and the pilot's one have that seam. Fortunately, the front does not, so I don't need to worry about ruining that detail. But this and this need to have that seam line removed. So again, it's grab a hold of this bad boy and just start scraping and go to town and make it get gone. So gentle scratches here to get rid of it, and then the fun of doing all the sanding with the sanding sticks. So we'll go get that act out and then put that on so we can start painting. After running it with sanding stick, we start here, here, then here until we hear it squeaking. And then we pulled out the Tamiya polishing compound, just polished it down. So we'll do that to the front canopy as well, and then we can get them in place. All right, with the base painting done, now I can go ahead and work on the undercarriage and get the details put on. This is just the way I work. I really struggle with doing the base colors with all of the detail pieces on, because I feel like the masking and the way I have to mask it and everything just, will destroy all the work or all the little tiny parts. I'm always afraid of breaking them. So this is just kind of how I work. There's probably a better way to do it, but it's how I roll. But now I can go ahead, attack the undercarriage here, do all the little detail pieces. Well, not all the detail, but all the undercarriage parts that need to be done, because I can put them together, paint them, drop them in, put them together, paint them, drop them in, and then seal it. Well, actually, I can go ahead and then do the preparation, the transfers, then seal it all, then get into weathering. But with the base colors blocked in, now I have what I need to get to that point. I've thought about doing like extra wiring and things for the undercarriage and in the wheel wells and so forth, and I don't know if I'm going to go down that road or not, just because A, it's not going to be seen, and B, I really don't know what they look like, and I really always struggle with making them look right, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'll go on, get to doing these detail parts, and then we're back. All right, so what I've done is I've gotten this ready for transfers. So it's time to pull out the big sheet O transfers and start putting them on. Now what I have done is I've done something I don't normally do. I've done the gloss coat method. So normally I don't bother gloss coating the aircraft to put on the transfers, but then I also always have problems with transfers. So we're going to try hitting this thing with gloss coat. And well, I have hit it with gloss coat. And so we're going to try seeing if that helps with the transfers and seals it down. And then I can start with the weathering. What I did do is I hit the undercarriage with a wash to give it some of the depth and detail that it needed. There are still minor detail pieces to put on, like lights and things like that. The other thing that I realized is I oopsed and I forgot to drill the holes for the pylons. So there won't be missiles and there won't be drop tanks. So because I forgot that, I'm not going to worry about it. What I will do is I will put these four, we'll go ahead and we'll drop these four in there, because those mount points are there. But other than that, we won't go with those. So I will go ahead and get the transfers put on, seal those down, and then get ready to start with the weathering. Well, that was 3 days, but we got to it. I had my doubts about the transfers, especially the one right on top, but it actually ended up working out. Most of them are really thin, so the ones like on the tail and so forth, they're really, really thin. The ones that weren't, so like the stars and then this were thicker, but they went down well. And then I didn't use Microset and Microsaw. I used this stuff. I used the Mark Fit Strong. This is, from what I understand, a little more potent. But yeah, as you can see, they've taken on they laid down well. So I ended up doing a couple waves of them, but they ended up, I'm these here, by the way, these along the edge, these are all one transfer, and I had serious doubts about those, but you can see they actually laid down well, and then took on the underneath details. So all right, so now it's time to seal it and then get to doing the weathering. Well, that made all the difference in the world. When I was using the other oils, this took forever and it would leave marks behind. No matter how wet or dry I tried to do it. As you can see here, the staining is minimal, and with just a little bit of oomph, it goes away. So this is it. It's this stuff. The 502 Abteilung, and it just comes right off, cleans away just like everybody else's videos. So that's what you get when you use the wrong tools. And I can leave shading in there if I want, and when I don't, it goes away. So I'm gonna go ahead and work my way around, make this stuff go away, leave the marks in the seams, or the panelings, I guess is the right word. So yeah, the two differences, right? The two different things that I've done is, A, I'm using that, and B, I put down gloss coat, and I'm working on a gloss coat instead of a semi-gloss. And I kind of feel like the combination of the two is exactly what the problem was. And so again, as I've said in previous videos, the problem's me, folks. So I'm going to work my way around through here, just getting to this slowly. This is going to take a while. I'm not in a hurry, and I kind of want to leave some of these in here a little more intently, and I want to just sort of pick and choose my way through. Now I am going through these cotton buds, which is something I hadn't intended to go through the cotton buds like this, but then it really doesn't much matter because that's what I have them for. But I mean, that effect right there is so much better from what I had done on different models. So I'm actually pretty stoked. Really kind of stoked with the end result here. Well, it's not even really an end result, it's more of a getting started result, because this is just one of the colors I need to do. I will go back and model up some of this with some of the other colors we've got. But yeah, this is getting me what I was after. So I'll go ahead and work my way around, and there we go. All right, and with that, the F4 in the VF-84 Jolly Rogers is done. This was fun. This actually ended up being a coming out better than I anticipated. It was more fun to put together, and then actually changing up my techniques on doing the oils and so forth ended up getting better results. So I think I'm starting to learn. Is it perfect? Oh heck no. Did I miss things? Absolutely. Is this absolutely accurate? Oh heck no. I followed, again, like this is not something that is high on my, I need to research the details out of this. So I kind of went with what was on the box in the package, and that was about it. I like the look of it, right? And that's what I was going for. And I was going for dirty, which we got, going for learning how to do certain different techniques on the oils and the pigments and so forth, and that came out okay. I got the discoloration on the afterburner, which I was after. One of these, I actually haven't figured out how to keep this centered, but hey, it is what it is. The kit was a good one. It went together well. There were very, very minor issues, but those were minor. Most of the challenges I had were me. There are a lot of things that a modeler could do to improve and increase detail. Like I said, I went with the upgrade kit for the cockpit, which makes a difference, but with the canopy closed, kind of meh. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was necessary. If I was going with the canopy open, then yes, I would. But I also have display of the way I display. It's easier for me to keep it clean when the canopy's closed. Having to do the sanding on the cockpit glass, that's always entertaining. It's always got some pucker factor to it, but it didn't come out terribly. I highly recommend the kit, the Academy kit. I highly recommend it. It gives you a pretty decent product, and if there's stuff you would like to do, you've got opportunity. I totally missed drilling out the holes from the wings, so all of the ordnance isn't on. It's just got the four that have those mounts there. That's it. But that's me, because I missed it. It's in the instructions, it's there. I just totally missed it. So there we go. That is the end of the VF-84. That is probably the end of this series. There might be another one sometime in the distant future, but we'll see. This is it's kind of nice. It'll be nice sitting next to the Crusader and the F-14 and sitting on the shelves, and then we can move on to the next project. So as always, I will go ahead and take some pictures and put them here at the end. Anybody has suggestions, hints, whatever, please, again, feel free to put them down below. Just keep them respectful. I'll be happy to respond. I like engaging, so any tips I'm perfectly happy to take on. But again, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was entertaining, and until next time, happy modeling.